Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Hey guys, welcome to Harry the Horse Barbecue, and today we've got the Mac Daddy of barbecue. We are cooking up, finally, a USDA Prime. Get it right there, it says Prime Brisket. Okay, vacuum sealed and everything. We're gonna cook this guy up. As you just saw in our last video for our new smoker Irma that we just seasoned and got ready for this cook, we're gonna throw this bad boy on, but before we do that, we gotta get it trimmed up, we gotta get it seasoned up, and then out on the grill tomorrow morning. It's late tonight, early tomorrow, we're gonna throw it on. So let's open it up, take a look, get to trimming.
There you go.
All right guys, so we have unpackaged this brisket, and we're gonna get to trimming this. You could see that this is a pretty nicely shaped brisket so far. We're gonna do some trimming on it, but when I pick this brisket out, there's a couple of rules you wanna follow. If you've seen Aaron Franklin's masterclass or have seen any ads for masterclass, Aaron Franklin describes how to pick out a brisket, and a couple of his tips are that you should find a thick flat and a flat that is sort of pliable or it moves pretty easily. One, the thick flat, the thicker it is, the less chance of you have of drying it out. And you can see how thick this one is here. It's pretty thick running through. That's why I picked this one. And the flat is pretty pliable. It's moving around pretty easily. Because if you pick out a flat that's hard as a rock to start, it's going to come out hard as a rock at the end. And we don't want that. We want nice tender meat at the end of this. So if you're unfamiliar, we've described the flat up here. This part up here with this big fat cap, this is the point of the brisket. So it's two different muscles that are attached sort of by a band of fat that sort of runs underneath the point muscle. So here's your point muscle, the flat muscle's down here. And you'll see once this is cooked that the point muscle actually, when we start cutting it, that the flat muscle is actually right underneath it when you start cutting it. So the two muscles actually end up being together at the end of the cook. And you'll see that at the end. So we're gonna trim this up. We want about 1/4 inch of fat lying on top of the entire brisket. There's some parts where we wanna take out fat completely, but we'll take you along for that as we start to trim. One last thing before we get going is you can see how gray this meat is over here. I don't want to cook that. I want to expose the fresh meat underneath. So I'm going to take that off, some of this edge here. We'll do some, I'd say moderate trimming to this, and then we'll season it up and get it ready for our cook tomorrow. We're going to start bright and early, 6 a.m. But let's get to trimming this. All right guys, so it's the next day and we threw the brisket on. It's been on for about, I'd say 4.5 hours at this point. And for the first 3 hours of this cook, I didn't open the lid to the smoker at all. I was just managing the fire, trying to keep that 275-degree range. Right now we've been cooking anywhere between, I would say 230 and 300. Bit of a fluctuation. We're trying to dial in how this thing cooks. But I think we've got it pretty much right at 275 now, so we're going to try and keep it there until this thing is ready. I would say I'm estimating about a 12-hour total cook. We threw it on at 5:30 this morning, and it is right now about 10 o'clock in the morning. So, but come on and take a look. All right, so we are going to close the lid up. We're going to keep the smoke rolling on it for maybe about another few hours until we get a nice bark. I anticipate maybe like 3 more hours, maybe total of like 8-hour cook time, so we get the bark we need. Then we're going to wrap it up. So we'll bring you back when we wrap it, but we're going to close it up for now. All right, guys, so our brisket is temping out in the point at about 180 or so, and the flat it's already about 200. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this off, we're gonna wrap it in some butcher paper, and then we're gonna put it back on the cooker, but we're gonna rotate it around so the point is facing the fire now, and the flat is facing the other side. So let's get this guy off. Point facing the fire. Should be good. I'm gonna put my chef alarm probe into the thickest part of the point, and then once that hits about 203, somewhere around there, we know it's time to pull it off. So until then, keep on brisketing. More beans. All right, guys, so it's been about 14 hours since I put this brisket on the smoker. We're about ready to unwrap this bad boy and see how we did. So let's just get right into it. And again, save this butcher paper. This butcher paper is a great fire starter. Some of this bark fell off. I'm gonna give me a taste of that. That's mad good. That was just the bark, and that's freaking delicious. All right. See how it's nice and pliable now? Like when you lift it up, it just kind of wants to bend over. What we're gonna do, we're gonna slice this up, and the way the grain is running on the brisket, at least in the flat part, it's running this way, okay? So what we're gonna do is we wanna cut perpendicular to the grain of the flat. So we're gonna cut along this way, we're gonna make cuts all the way up until we reach where the point muscle is. And once we reach that, the grain actually runs in an opposite direction. So we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna make slices kind of going this way across the point. We'll take you through that. Okay, so let's start cutting up some slices. This end cut is pretty much the money cut. That is our piece of brisket. Great smoke ring running around the entire brisket. Except for where there's fat, we did leave a good amount of fat on at the beginning, so it rendered down. You can see we still have a little bit of a fat layer on there, which is good. You want that little piece of fat, especially to go with the flat part of the brisket because this is leaner. So the idea here is, can it hold up under its own weight? The answer is yes. But hopefully with a slight tug, it'll pull nice apart. That's kind of the test for a brisket. One easy tug, pull right apart. So that's pretty tender. That's what we're looking for. This, actually, the cut on this is a little thick, so we could try a thinner piece to see if it bends over. But that pull test, we could try it again. Again, it doesn't fall under its own weight. Slight tug, pulls right apart. So, with that being said, let's see how we did. Want a little bit of fat in there. So I'm gonna say we made some chicken thighs on the smoker earlier. For those who ate chicken thighs before getting to this brisket, I'm so sorry. You should have waited for this brisket. Here, feed the cameraman so he can take a test.
To touch the lens. Oh, that's really good.
How's that? All right, so what we've cut up is the lean part that's known as the flat. We're gonna start cutting up the point. So the point was originally situated like this, attached to the flat. I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees. And what I'm gonna do is cut right down the center, and I'm gonna start making some slices. And this is sort of the brisket money shot here. Nice smoke ring on there. Nice fatty brisket on top, lean brisket on the bottom. Again, we left a good amount of that fat on, but even it started to render pretty well. And that big band of fat in the middle is rendered out pretty nicely as well. So we got a little bit of smoke penetration on the top, a good amount on the bottom. So we're gonna start making some slices all the way down. And what happens here is, I think it's from pretty much this side of the brisket, you can actually do it from either side, is where the burnt ends come from. Let's try from the burnt end side. Everyone can try a burnt end piece. Yeah, this is where a lot of the flavor accumulates. Look at that smoke penetration on there. A lot of good fat in there, some good meat. This is the good stuff right here. I get the camera guy review. Nicolina.
Oh my god. Hold on, I gotta pull focus.
Wow.
Oh my god.
These are the burnt end pieces again. I'm gonna cut this one in half too, and I'm gonna get in on the action as well. That's really hot. That is awesome. That's kind of where all the smoke sort of accumulates. You get a nice bark on the outside. And how this is often described is the fatty part is often like compared to like a ribeye. The lean part is often compared to like a sirloin. Super fatty, super moist, a little bit leaner, fat cap on top. It's a great all-around piece of meat if you cook it the right way. Look at the juice pouring out of there. Oh my god. Alright guys, so thank you for tuning into Harry the Horse Barbecue. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, join the channel, join the Harry the Horse Barbecue family, and we're just going to keep teaching you how to smoke some meats just backyard style. So if you got an offset smoker out there, super easy way to trim up, season up, cook up a brisket. It may take a while, but man, the end result is unbelievable. So definitely get out there, get a good cut of meat, keep on smoking out there. It's a late dinner, but this is what's for dinner tonight. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!